Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. Para una mejor experiencia, les solicitamos por favor que mantengan sus micrófonos muteados. Todo el material que presentaremos puede ser utilizado para difusión y promoción. Muchas gracias y que disfruten del evento.
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a este gran evento de History, donde tendremos la oportunidad exclusiva e inédita de poder conversar con David Duchovny, que es la estrella de los expedientes desclasificados, que en inglés lo llamamos Secrets Declassified, y que se trata de todos los secretos y teorías de conspiración que envuelven al gobierno y a misterios de la tercer tipo. Con ustedes, el tráiler de esta gran serie de History Channel.
Covert wars, backroom deals, classified tech. Governments around the world have kept their darkest deeds a secret from the public. But there's one thing more powerful than any agency or army: the truth. Hide it, bury it. No matter how deep the hole, how dark the shadows, the truth will come to light. This is the history lesson you didn't see coming.
Expedientes Desclasificados con David Duchovny por History Channel.
Hi, David. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
And we are delighted to have you with us. We want to know more about you and the amazing TV series that we have in History Channel in this time at the global event. The premise of your series is Duchovny examines recently declassified government documents to uncover the truth behind historical secretive activities. Can you explain what is the real premise that you see as the host of the show?
Well, you know that, by government laws, certain documents become declassified over time. Usually, when most of the the actors in the events have died, they become declassified to the public. So these are actual historical documents documenting actual historical things and events that previously might have been hinted at or suspected, but these are all true. These aren't conspiracy theories. These aren't conjecture. These are actual documents. These are actual facts that have just become declassified and that are now open to the public, and we're bringing some of those stories to the public.
I mean, not everybody knows, but you are not only the TV host, you're also the producer. How involved are you in the production of the show and in the chosen which files or which cases we will be able to see on the screen?
I'm not involved in that very much at all. This was an idea that was pitched to me by the History Channel, and I just thought it was a great idea. And they'd already gotten a long way into the stories that they wanted to tell. So I was just happy to host, really.
And we are happy that you're the host. I mean, everybody knows you for your roles in Hollywood and also in TV. Probably one of the most famous roles is X-Files. So how much of the X-Files experience you bring to this unique experience of the classified files?
Well, I think that was probably one of the reasons that the History Channel was interested in me, just because of my history with that show. But the fact of the matter is the X-Files it's all fiction. It's completely made up. I mean, Chris Carter was able, and the writers were able to use certain stories or myths or things that might have happened and weave great cinema, great television out of it. But it was not based on fact. It was based on imagination.
However, one important fact that not everybody is aware of is that your IQ is 147 and you have a study in Princeton and Yale. That's the information that we got. So you are a pretty smart guy.
I don't know what IQ measures. I don't know that I've ever had my IQ measured. I don't know what 147 means, but Yes, I studied at Princeton. I studied at Yale. I studied English literature mostly. Um, so my deepest background is in literary fiction and poetry. I studied some history, but not a lot. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get a good education courtesy of my mother's hard work. But I that's as much as I would admit to.
Okay, but we also know that you love art. You're not only a writer, you're also not only a producer, not only an actor, but you also happens to be a musician every now and then. So any chance that we can see you in Latin America playing
Yeah,
anytime?
I, w- I really hope so because we haven't toured there. We've toured Europe, we've toured the States, we've toured Eastern Europe. We even went to Russia about 10 years ago or 7 years ago. So yeah, we should plan on coming down there. That would be wonderful. We'd love to play down there.
So let's talk about it and let's plan ahead of time so we can make sure that
Yeah,
this time is happening.
yeah.
Now,
Let's
we
do
want
it.
to know more about this series and the fact that we are fascinated by every story in every single one of the episodes. Why do you think that people can not get enough of this particular series?
I think it's because these declassified stories show the real humanity of the people trying to achieve certain ends and goals, and that history can seem so big and monolithic and impenetrable. And when you see stories like these, you realize it's just people. It's just flawed people trying to achieve certain ends, and in these cases, doing them in the dark, trying to achieve them where, the American legislative democracy was not going to allow them to, so they had to do it in secret. Um, so I think you just see these kind of flawed actors, trying to change world history in many cases, trying to make a big effect. Sometimes it's laughable, and sometimes it's really scary.
Question for you. What is better for you to understand or to believe?
Oh, um, it's an interesting question. I think to understand, for me, it is more important than to believe. I mean, belief. Yeah, I would just end by saying that. I would say, yeah, to understand is more important. And belief is not as important to me. Belief is an emotional state, and understanding is more of a, a brain state, a mental state. So, um, beliefs are you can't argue people out of beliefs. You can't fact people out of beliefs, and that's a scary thing. That's why beliefs are so powerful. But I'd rather understand.
Are you looking forward for a second season?
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to the stories that these people have uncovered. These I haven't seen the new batch. I haven't seen the new batch of declassified documents. So, it's endlessly fascinating to me what kind of both nonsense and the nonsense and ambition, I'd say, are the interesting things that jump out at me.
That's right. So now to understand a little better about this amazing series, we're going to share, if you allow us, 3 minutes of a trailer that we have from this very important episode.
Great, thank you.
Es 1945. La Segunda Guerra Mundial está por terminar y los aliados están cazando a los criminales de guerra nazis. Pero los hombres del Führer están escapando hacia Latinoamérica. Es obvio que alguien los ayuda. ¿Quién puede ayudar a los nazis a escapar?
La Segunda Guerra termina y los aliados obviamente están desesperados por capturar cada nazi sobreviviente para llevarlos a juicio por los terribles crímenes. Pero entre los nazis tratando de escapar hay cientos de miles de refugiados desplazados, todos en marcha, todos en búsqueda de una nueva vida lejos.
Para prevenir que los nazis escaparan, cada vía, tren o bote que salía de Europa era vigilado. Nada ni nadie salía sin ser revisado.
Restringieron las medidas de viaje hasta el punto en el que solo había una forma disponible de viajar, y eso era la obtención de una visa de la Cruz Roja que te permitiría salir.
A pesar de que los aliados capturaron a cientos de nazis de alto rango, muchos de los oficiales superiores de Hitler siguen desaparecidos. Los Estados Unidos creen que alguien está ayudándolos a escapar de Europa. ¿Pero quién?
En 1947, un agregado de Estados Unidos de nombre Vincent Lavista quedó a cargo del monitoreo de la situación para determinar si los oficiales de Tercer Reich y los militares estaban tratando de usar la visa de la Cruz Roja para escapar de la justicia.
Lavista comienza la investigación en la Cruz Roja.
Y ahí es donde se entera de algo llamado el Centro Papal de Refugiados.
Al parecer, algunos refugiados pudieron conseguir una carta de recomendación emitida por el Vaticano, es decir, que pueden saltar las revisiones de la Cruz Roja.
Lavista le pregunta a sus contactos si ha habido alguna actividad sospechosa en el centro de refugiados.
Un nombre comenzó a salir una y otra vez. Un misterioso hombre alemán residente en Roma, conocido como el Dr. Nix.
Lo que Lavista descubrió es que el misterioso doctor es uno de los personajes principales en la obtención de estos pases libres que están usando los antiguos oficiales del Tercer Reich para escapar de Alemania a Roma y luego a Sudamérica.
Expedientes desclasificados con David Duchovny por History Channel.
As you can see, you speak perfect Spanish and perfect Brazilian.
I know. I was sitting here thinking I sound better in Spanish than I do in English. Thank you.
So, if you had the chance to have any proof or evidence of one of these theories or conspiracies, what would you do with those documents?
What would I do? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. What would you do?
Okay.
I mean, that's
I don't know. I will call you to figure out something with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're
Yeah.
okay, we're going to go to the Q&A with our international
Yes.
media outlets that are dying to
Sure.
have a time with you.
Sure.
So let's start right now.
Fantastic.
Mariana, can you help me?
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course. We're going to start with Roque Casiero from Página 12 newspaper, Argentina.
Hi, David.
Hello.
For having the chance to ask you a question. I was wondering, you mentioned the difference between the X-Files and secretly classified, and between fiction and these documents. But I wonder if any of the stories you have covered in Secretly Classified led you to think about give Chris Carter a phone call.
Not really. I think it's something that, people make a connection, but I'm always talking to Chris about ideas, and I send him articles all the time. I mean, I was just sending him articles this past week about that comet that Harvard professor had theorized might not be organic. Might be a spaceship. Of course, it's not. But I'm always in touch with Chris, but not necessarily stuff that we've talked about in this particular show.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Next question.
Yes, Luciano Guaraldo from Noticias.tv, UOL, Brazil.
Hi, David. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I was wondering, we are used to seeing you behind the mask of a character. When you are the host of a show like this, do you build the host version of David Duchovny, or is it fully you? How do you find the balance between which sides of your own personal lives to bring to the experience? And
Yeah, I think it's a host version of me. It's an interesting question. When we were filming that, and when we'll go into filming future seasons, it's also about kind of understanding the nature of this particular story that you're telling, and whether it's dark or humorous or mysterious or a thriller or a comedy. So each kind of story has its own tone, and in that sense, as the host, I'm kind of leading you into the story by giving you the tone. But yeah, I think it's host me, whatever that means. It's not me. It is actually.
So, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
David.
Thank you.
Mariana, we are ready for next question.
Yes, Jorge Luis Suxtor from Mausan Television, México.
Hola,
Hello.
hola a todos. Primero, felicitaciones por Expedientes Desclasificados, esta primera temporada que me parece que va a ser maravilloso. Y la
Jorge Luis,
pregunta,
are you there?
I'm sorry, you've gone muted again.
Jorge Luis?
¿sí
There
me
you are.
escuchan? Hola,
Now we can
hola.
hear you. Yes. Can you
Ok,
repeat your question, please?
perfecto. Primero, felicitaciones por Expedientes Desclasificados, me parece que es una serie maravillosa y necesaria. Y la pregunta es, si él piensa que todo este trabajo que está haciendo desde hace tantos años ha sido una piedra fundamental para las desclasificaciones que está haciendo el gobierno, y qué piensa de estas desclasificaciones.
Okay.
You'll need to translate that for me.
No problem. What he wants to know at this particular point is that you have had the experience of working with so many classified files, and he's wondering if you are able to understand which one of those files could be real, and why do you tend to believe that they are real, and how do you feel sharing those files with the audience?
These are all real. None of these are fictional. These are all actual declassified government documents documenting things that really went on. So I have no problem sharing them. This is not about false conspiracies. It's not about any kind of conspiracy. This is actual history that we have access to now because they've been declassified after a number of years.
But these are real facts, are real stories, and are part of our history, and you are able to
Yes.
share them with the audience through History Channel. Great answer.
Yes.
Thank you so much, David.
Yeah.
Mariana, next question. Gracias, Jorge
Andrés,
Luis.
Gracias.
Andrés Mora from El Tiempo newspaper from Colombia.
Bueno, un saludo, David, desde Colombia. Y mi pregunta es, ¿tiene sentido
Something's going
que
on with
hoy
the
en
audio. We
día...
cannot hear him. El Tiempo, are you
perdón,
there?
I
¿continúo?
lost audio again.
Hello.
¿Me escucha?
Mariana, can you help us out, please? Juan Pablo?
I'm sorry, I've lost audio. I can't hear.
Give us 1
anything.
second, David.
Okay.
Andrés, we can try again, okay? Andrés Mora from newspaper, El Tiempo newspaper,
David,
Colombia.
do you hear the question from the translator or not?
Sí, necesito traducción, por favor.
Yes. I
Ok,
can hear
un
you.
saludo, David,
Yes.
desde Colombia. Y mi pregunta es la siguiente. ¿Tiene sentido que hoy en día aún exista la creencia en teorías conspirativas cuando estamos más susceptibles a que la información sea adulterada o manipulada a pesar de contar con tantos recursos para desmentirlo?
Yes, I do. But this is not fake news or AI. These are actual declassified government documents. These are part of history. To answer your question, yes, I'm very concerned about the desire to believe in conspiracies without evidence, and the ancient conspiracies that continue on, in different forms. Um, it's very distressing. Fake news. This is not fake news, but I am as against fake news as anyone. But it's we're in a tough time. We're in a tough time where truth has been debased. Truth has been debased programmatically by people in power.
Yeah, we cannot differentiate that easily anymore between what is right,
Yeah.
what is wrong, what is fact,
Yeah.
and what is not. So let's go to the next question, please. Thank you.
Leslie Galván from El Comercio Newspaper, Perú.
Yes. Sorry, could you listen to me?
Yes.
Yeah, David, nice to talk with you. Keeping talk about these conspirations versus facts and history and real things. We live in a time where information circulates unfiltered and conspiracy theories are amplified on social media, especially. In this series, you see experts reviewing real documents and historical evidence. How do you think this series can help the public distinguish between viral myths, for example, and what is actually happening?
I mean, it's a good question. I wish more present day government documents could be declassified so we could see the truth of what's going on there as well. So I don't know. If I had the answer to that question, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be telling everyone. I think we live in a dangerous time where, as I said, facts have been debased. We've moved on from a society that has any kind of consensus about what facts are, and it's uncharted territory as far as I can tell.
Leslie, I think that's important to take in
Thank you.
consideration that David have mentioned a couple of times already, and everybody in this particular meeting or conference, that all the stories that have been shared with the History Channel through David and this particular series are real facts and are real files and are part of our history. Now, as he pointed out correctly, if we have all the information and the proper context, he won't be here. He will be already giving orders to all of us. So let's go to the next question, please.
Yes, César González from El Universal Newspaper, Mexico.
Hi, David. How are you? With all
Very
your
well, thank you.
experience in this kind of things, why do you think people prefer to pay attention to these declassified files that speak about things that has already happened and are in the history, instead of real problems, real actual problems happening in the world, such as immigration issues in the United States or the war in Palestine?
It's a very good question. Yeah. I don't choose what people are interested in. You know, people are interested in history and they're interested in the present day. I don't know what takes precedence over what. Also, history, you know, the present day is made up of history up until the present day. You know, we got here through a history, and it's always important, I think, to know the true history if you can.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Yes, Marcela Gianato from Empalco, Chile.
Hi, everyone. Hi, David.
Hi.
What inspires you and moves you today to continue creating, working, and do new things like this show after such a diverse and extensive career?
I don't know, I just can't help myself. I like making things, whether it's this show or writing novels or making music or doing directing movies. I enjoy pretty much every aspect of creating some kind of entertainment, some kind of story. And I don't know how to do anything else really. So I guess I'm stuck.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Next question, please, Mariana.
Yes, Ana Manson from Popcorn, Argentina.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you. First of all, it's a pleasure talking to you. I wanted to know if, well, as I understand, the second season is already confirmed. So I wanted to know if there's any chance we're going to see the Operation Condor files that concerns us as Argentinians and Latin Americans. And you said
I'm sorry, what is
before
that?
these were Operation
Yeah,
Condor.
I don't know any of the second or third season that we're going to do 2 seasons coming up, and I haven't seen any of the stories, so I can't answer that. I'm not
Okay,
I'm not being cagey either. I'm not trying to hide anything. I honestly don't know about the second and third seasons that we'll be shooting in a couple months. What is
it's okay. We
Operation
can only
Condor
hope.
what are you talking about, Operation Condor? What is that? I don't think I know it.
I'm talking about the plan for United States to take control over Latin American governments that has been declassified a while ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope
It sounds like an
I
interesting.
hope you get to do. Yeah, it is. It is. I
Me
hope
too.
you get that to do that episode. And you also mentioned that the files, the declassified files, are open to the public. So where can we search for them?
That's a really good question. I don't know. But I hope that somebody can get you that information. I don't have it because I think that's a very important point to make, is that if you're interested in any of these stories, that you also have public access to them. Once you see it on the show and you want to learn more about it, you want to read the files for yourself, there must be a way for you to be able to access those, since I think it is part of the public domain now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thank you for doing the show and let us access to it.
Thank you.
I'll talk to the producers about Operation Condor. We'll look into that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Mariana, please.
Yes, Beth Ferreira from Beats Magazine, Brazil.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, hi. I was wondering about the first episode about the planes, and you are showing a Soviet plane that was a supersonic plane. And apparently it was very similar to the Concorde. I would like to know more about that.
I can't speak more specifically than what you saw. It is very interesting, though, that kind of technology existed that long ago, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Okay. And
I was lucky enough to fly on the Concorde. Yeah.
Oh, really? In the 80s?
Yeah. No, not in the 80s.
No.
In probably the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah. We had the Concorde from Paris to Rio for some time,
Wonderful.
for quite a long time, actually, from in the beginning, in the 70s, as far as I remember. Should be a great trip.
Yeah.
It was used to be. So let's see if it's coming back to us. Rio and Paris, and Paris to Rio is nothing wrong with that. So let's go to the next question, Mariana, before
Not
we
at
start
all.
trying.
Yeah,
Luz
I agree.
Alexi Castillo from Bea Magazine, Colombia.
Thank you.
Hola.
Vamos, Bea, Colombia.
Sí, hola. Me regalan la traducción, es tan amable. Pues son 2 preguntas en una. Eh, ¿Cuál es el plan más increíble, como casi inverosímil, desclasificado al que tuvo acceso en esta temporada? ¿Y por qué cree que las personas prefieren pensar en conspiraciones y no en planes elaborados? ¿Me escucharon?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know which I think is the most unbelievable, but why do people want to believe in conspiracy theories rather than facts? I think because, I mean, unfortunately, conspiracy theories are entertaining very often. You know, that's why they make good movies, but they don't make good history, and they don't make for good government. But they do make for good entertainment, and I think people want the world to make sense, and conspiracies make the world make sense, even if they're not true.
Correct. That's part of human nature. Let's go to the next question,
Yeah.
please.
Yes, Juan Carlos Berner from Cine TV y Más, Chile.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you. Greetings from
Nice to meet you.
Chile. My question is, do you believe the truth is out there or is closer than we think in real life or even in your show?
No, I think the truth is in there, in you, in here, in your heart.
Oh,
I don't think it's out there.
great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure.
Daniel, we continue with Daniel López Pachá from Sincericidio Magazine, Argentina.
Hola, ¿qué tal, David? Voy a hablar en español. Un gusto en conocerte, ya que somos del
I
mismo
will
mes de
speak English.
agosto. Tú naciste un 7 y yo nací un 9 del 60,
Ah.
así que un gusto. Dos preguntas.
Ah.
Como narrador, como
Yes.
narrador y conductor, ¿cómo equilibras el rigor histórico con el suspenso narrativo? ¿Y hubo algún caso que te haya hecho dudar de tu propio escepticismo?
No, because I trusted the producers, so I didn't doubt the facts. I knew that these were actual declassified documents, and there was no conjecture in them. They were just facts, just the story of what happened. Um, as a host, as I said before, in answer to one of the questions, you know, some of these stories are dark and distressing, and some of them are almost unbelievable, and some of them are lighter and almost comedic. So I think as a host, my job is to kind of lead you into the tone of whatever case we're talking about.
Thank you.
Question,
We
please.
continue. Yes, América Bastía from Televitos Magazine, Chile.
Oh, hi, Mr. Duchovny. You're
Hello.
both executive producer and the series host, of course. When turning dense archival file into a compelling 10-episode narrative, what were the hardest editorial decisions you faced? And how did you decide where to keep mystery and where to insist on clarity?
It's all clarity. There is no mystery. These are declassified actual documents. There's nothing faked in it. There's nothing fictional in it. That's the main part of the story that I'd like to make clear. In terms of I think the first part of your question, you know, it was really choosing a balance between stories that are somewhat known, like MK Ultra, and then stories that people have no idea about, and within those stories, managing to sometimes face the absurdity of what's going on, as well as the gravity of what's going on. So there's a certain kind of dark humor that can happen. But also, you don't want to be disrespectful of the pain that was caused by some of these ambitions.
Thank you so much.
Vanessa
Next question,
Bermúdez
please.
from El Universal Newspaper, Venezuela.
Mr. Duchovny, the one and only, my absolutely pleasure being talking to you today. Thank you so much for this time. I hope
Thank
that
you.
you're doing great by the way.
Thank you.
Quick question for you. Fox Mulder and Hank Moody are two of the most iconic characters in your career. What did each of them teach you?
They didn't teach me anything. They taught me a lot as an actor. I had to figure out, ways into these two very, very different consciousnesses.
Right.
So,
Right.
so as a person, I'd say nothing, but as an actor, everything.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so very much. A pleasure.
Mariana, we have a question from Anderson Silva from Cultura Sin Censura from Brazil. The question is, in today's world, David, what event could be considered a secret declassified in the future seasons of your show?
In this world of the present day, is that
In
the
this
question?
world,
I don't know.
in today's, yes, he would like to see, in today's world, do you happen to read or cut your eye any news that you think will become part of the classified files in the near future?
I'm sure. I mean, that's the nature of classifying material. It's considered too dangerous or too explosive to be known in the present day. And it's something that a government chooses to classify certain materials. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's being classified now that we won't know for certain, till after I'm dead, till after a lot of us are dead. There's a time limit on these things.
Fair enough. Mariana, next question, please.
Yes, it's from Belén Eligio from El Sol de Mexico newspaper, Mexico.
Thank you. Hello, David. It's such a pleasure speaking with you. I would like to ask you, earlier you were speaking about how you love to create, to act, to create music. So ask you if you have any upcoming plans of releasing new music and perhaps writing another book. Thank you.
I have another album coming out probably in February. I may have a novel that I'm working on. I may or may not. We'll see. We'll see if I declassify that novel. And I have scripts that I want to do. So I'm always planning stuff, because the nature of this business is, it's probably 25 to 1. Of 25 ideas you have, or 25 executions of ideas that you have, maybe one gets done. So I have to be quite busy. I have to be quite prolific in order to get anything done at all.
Perfect. Is there something
Excellent.
you can tell us about this upcoming album? Do you have any songs already out?
No, nothing's out yet. It'll be called Prince of Pieces, and that's the single, the song Prince of Pieces. And I think we're really proud of it. We really love the new album. Can't wait to bring it out in February.
Thank you.
Perfect. We cannot wait. Mariana, next question, please.
Yes, Juan Andrés Alfate from Multiverso Media, Chile.
Is there? Well, meanwhile, Caracas Vibra, that will be from Venezuela.
Okay, aquí
has the
estoy.
following.
So sorry.
Okay.
He's here.
Okay, sorry. This is Juan Andrés from Chile. Hi, David. Nice to meet you. Just one question for you. Do you think the U.S. government truly knows the truth behind this UFO phenomenon, or will the mystery continue until this non-human intelligence decide to reveal their true intentions?
I'm still looking for the human intelligence within this administration, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Okay.
So now we have the question from Venezuela. Caracas Vibra would like to know the following. how much do you actually believe in government secrets, and how much do you believe in unexplained phenomenons?
I believe in science. I believe that politics is a tricky business, and that if it's a card game, then you've got to hold some cards close to your chest. And if you can cheat and get away with it, you probably will. So I think there are secrets that we know and that we don't know. But I'm not a conspiracy thinker.
Fair enough. Let's go to the next question, Mariana.
Yes, Marcos Almeida from Ilha do Metal, Brazil.
Hi, David. Hi, Mr. David. I hope you're listening me.
Hi.
Welcome to Brazil. First of all,
Thank you.
I would like to Evolution movie has a second part. It's an amazing movie from my point of view. Okay. My question.
Yeah,
My
I
question
get asked that a lot. Yeah.
My question is if there any episode that you present in this show in the History Channel that remind you any episode that you act on X-Files, you see some similar in both?
Well, I think, some of the stories that we get into in this show are pretty well known, even though we have access to the declassified documents, so we're getting, a lot more information than we might have had before. But something like MK Ultra, which was kind of the idea behind the Manchurian Candidate, and a lot of 60s kind of drug mind control, trying to figure out if psychic power is a real thing, and to think about the government dosing people with drugs and trying to figure these things out is the same government that made, marijuana almost an offense punishable by prison, is dosing people with LSD is quite rich.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We continue with Lalo
Mariana?
Gonzalez from Asir Radio, Mexico.
Okay. Hi, David. I have a question for you. Do you think there are some things whose reality is better left unknown?
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe. I mean, you'd have to give me an example of what it would be. I think maybe interpersonally, maybe some things are better left unknown. But if they're of world import or of national interest, I think probably it should be known.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question, Mariana. We have 3 more.
Yes, Marcel Botelho from Estación Nerd, Brazil.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, Cesar,
Yes.
my friend. Hi, David. I love your
Hi.
work. You are brilliant. David, you are a great actor, writer, producer. How are you feeling now as a TV host? And please send your message for our fans in Brazil.
Well, hello, Brazil. We're always talking about bringing the band down there. I play music as well, so we're trying to figure out a way to get down to Brazil to play music. What was your question? I'm sorry, before that, what was the question?
You are a great actor, producer, writer. How are you feeling as a TV host?
Oh, as a TV host. I feel it's just another aspect of storytelling. I'm part of the story. As I've said before, some of these stories are like thrillers, some of them are like horrors, some of them are more comedic or absurd, and I feel like as the host, it's my job to kind of give you the tone of what particular story you're about to hear.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Emilio Josami from El Liberal newspaper, Argentina.
Muy buenas tardes, muy buenas tardes, un gusto, David. Mi pregunta puntual es, ¿qué enseñanzas te deja a vos los expedientes desclasificados?
I think aside from the specific cases that are interesting to learn about, it's always amazing for me to read these or to acquaint myself with these stories where the ideas are ridiculous, and the idea that these people thought that their crazy ideas would have worked or would have been effective in some way to succeed in their aims. It's just so funny to me and dark sometimes that human nature is so incredibly varied and ambitious and nuts when you read some of these stories, when you're exposed to some of these stories.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Yes, Ederly Fortunato from Critico from Brazil.
Oh, hi. I am in some trouble here with my camera, so I'm going only by sound. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine by me.
Okay. David, you're talking about the stories you have been reading, you have been presenting in series. So has any of them inspired you maybe to write a screen movie, a series in the future?
No, not yet, but I think that's it's a possibility, because these stories are pretty full and fascinating. So yeah, I mean, I haven't thought of it as a place where I can look for an idea to create a screenplay around, but I will take your advice and I will start looking.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Ederly.
your time.
Thank you.
Always great in travel, Ederly from Brazil. Thank you, David. David, I mean, as you know, history have changed the way we tell stories and the way we become storytellers. Some of the storytellers, instead of TV hosts, because they are, as you are, storytellers, are Tom Hanks, Kevin Costner, Pierre Brosnan, Morgan Freeman, Lawrence Fishburne, Danny Trejo. How do you feel to be one of the storytellers in history with such a good company of icons from Hollywood?
Well, I'm honored to be in that group, I think, and I think what you're saying is true. Those are storytellers, and this is a way to tell a story, and this is an area of worthwhile stories and surprising stories. So I'm just happy to be involved with the History Channel and happy to be in that good company.
What it means to you as David, I mean, you are known for trying to leave a blueprint in every single thing that you do, from writing, from music, from producing, or for acting. You always want to leave a legacy. You always want to leave a blueprint. So, how do you feel to be part of history with the History Channel?
I'm really proud to be presenting stories that are true, that are still having effects today, that the ripple effect from these actual historical events are still with us. If they can help elucidate the past, that's great. If they can help make our path into the future easier or more clear, that'd be great too.
So, we want to thank you for your time, for your legacy, for never giving up and always want more from life and trying to always leave a blueprint wherever you go. We hope to see you in Latin America very soon. And we are so glad that our two new seasons of your series coming to history. Thank you so much. Muito obrigado. Muchas gracias, David.
Thank you. This was a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
David.
everybody.
No hay nada que esconder.
Hay muchas cosas de las cuales los gobiernos no hablan.
En 1967 yo era teniente en la base aérea de Malmstrom.
Muchos lo vieron.
Debió ser algo aterrador.
El gobierno esconde algo grande.
Pero solo una persona
Era el Área 51.
puede hacer hablar el silencio.
Soy David Duchovny. Ahora es hora de sacar esas misiones secretas a la luz.
Expedientes desclasificados con David Duchovny por History Channel.